Good morning.
What up, homies?
Today, the Public Accounts Committee
Do you love Trump?
was supposed to meet to start the consideration of
Click
a
that like
non-confidence motion in this Liberal government. Rather than allow that to happen, Justin Trudeau has selfishly shut down Parliament to avoid accountability. That non-confidence motion was being moved because after 9 years
If you don't
of
like
Trudeau's
Trudeau,
government in this Liberal Party
click
running
that
country,
like button.
Canadians have been suffering through so much
Would
misery.
you?
Families going to food banks for the first time in their lives.
You want
Families
to be
with
part of the
two
greatest
incomes,
family on
sometimes having to
YouTube?
go to food banks to
Click
supplement
that bell
their
and
groceries.
make sure
People
you get
turning
all
down
notifications.
thermostats as the Liberal carbon tax has driven up home heating and utilities. Homeless encampments in tent cities popping up all across the country. 1,400 tent encampments in Ontario alone. Violent crime rising by 50% since the Liberals took office. All of this has caused so much suffering and hardship. And Justin Trudeau kept desperately clinging to power, even as more and more of his own MPs expressed non-confidence in his government. And rather than do what was right and allow the Canadian people to have their say in a carbon tax, Justin Trudeau has run and hid from accountability, cowardly announced his resignation rather than give Canadians a choice, putting this off till sometime in March. All this at a time of great uncertainty Canadians are facing. We've got an incoming administration in the United States threatening our country with tariffs. Very poor economic news in the past few weeks. The dollar has been sliding, and as I said, 6 consecutive quarters of per capita GDP declines. All so that the Liberal Party can sort out its internal mess. Once again, Justin Trudeau and the Liberals have proven that they put themselves ahead of the Canadian people. Nothing will change with a Liberal leadership race. I mean, if we look through some of the candidates that are being speculated about, and some who have even indicated that they will likely run. Let's look at Mark Carbon Tax Carney, as he's known in political circles. He holds the position. He is currently Justin Trudeau's chair of his economic task force. He is one of the main architects of Trudeau's record. He loves the carbon tax so much.
They call him Carbon
Carney.
Carney.
Against any exemptions being given to Canadians struggling.
They ended up calling that guy Carbon Carney when he was born.
He supports all of Justin Trudeau's policies.
He's a big-time Justin Trudeau supporter.
Of this
Carbon Carney
administration. Chrystia Freeland was there all along the way, applauding and cheering and voting in favor all of Justin Trudeau's policies that doubled housing costs, that drove up inflation and interest rates, that let dangerous and repeat offenders out on the streets, prioritizing the rights of criminals ahead of the rights of law-abiding Canadians. And she was even prepared to blow through her already insane $40 billion deficit guardrail right up until the moment that she was told that she would be demoted right afterwards. All of these speculated Liberal candidates will just be more of the same. Even Christy Clark, who is Premier of British Columbia, who increased the carbon tax by 200%. Canadians don't need this uncertainty and chaos as Liberal leadership contenders try to compete to show Liberal members who loves the carbon tax the most, who wants to run even bigger deficits, and who wants to plunge our country into even more misery. Canadians need a carbon tax election so we can put an end to all the misery and suffering and all the chaos that Justin Trudeau has selfishly put our country in. To consider the fact that Canadians don't even know when the new Prime Minister will be chosen or what process this is all to be sorted out, when we're just less than 2 weeks away from an incoming U.S. administration with these tariffs threatening our country. This was an incredibly selfish and self-centered move, once again proving that Liberals put themselves and their party ahead of the interests of Canada and of Canadians. And all of this could have been avoided, by the way, if Jagmeet Singh had have actually put his actions where his words were. Remember in September, he had that very theatrical display where he pretended to rip up the agreement with the Liberals, came right back into that House of Commons and voted time and time again, 8 times, voted confidence in propping up Justin Trudeau, even as more and more MPs, not just in opposition parties, but even in the Prime Minister's own party, had expressed their non-confidence. So that's why Conservatives are once again calling for Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party to please, for the sake of Canadians' well-being, for the sake of those struggling families going through so much hardship. I think of 1,400 tent encampments in Ontario. Life wasn't like this in Canada before the Liberals took office, and won't be like this in Canada after Canadians vote them out. It's not too late. They can still do the right thing. They can call a carbon tax election so Canadians can vote for a new government, for strength and stability to weather our country through these challenging times. I'll be happy to answer a few questions. I'll just allow my colleague to say a few words in French. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Joe. Bonjour. Je suis ici aujourd'hui, c'est parce que je devais participer au comité des comptes publics où on allait déposer une motion de non-confiance à l'endroit de Justin Trudeau. Mais tout ça maintenant est tombé parce que Justin Trudeau hier a choisi de proroger le Parlement. Proroger le Parlement, pourquoi? Pour se cacher, pour ne pas faire face à la réalité de ce que les Canadiens et Canadiennes souhaitent, c'est-à-dire une élection le plus rapidement possible. Il n'a pas voulu faire face à la musique. Il a préféré agir comme un lâche et placer les intérêts de son parti et surtout ses propres intérêts avant ceux des Canadiens et Canadiennes. À un moment qui est très, très, très difficile, vous en parlez avec moi, dans 2 semaines, il y aura l'investiture d'un nouveau président aux États-Unis et la menace d'imposition de tarifs de 25 % de frais de douane. Dans les régions du Québec, dans les nombreuses régions du Québec où il y a plusieurs PME, dont la survie même dépend des exportations aux États-Unis, c'est extrêmement inquiétant de voir l'état dans lequel le pays est actuellement dirigé, c'est-à-dire qu'il n'y a pas de dirigeant. Un premier ministre qui s'en va, un premier ministre qui quitte, une course à la direction d'un parti politique au lieu d'avoir une élection générale qui aurait pu nous donner dans 36 jours un nouveau premier ministre fort pour faire face justement à cette menace-là et pour mettre fin aussi à la souffrance des Canadiens. Je vous rappelle que Justin Trudeau et son administration au cours des 9 dernières années ont doublé la dette nationale, ont créé le chaos en immigration, ont créé le chaos aux frontières. La liste de tout ce qui a été brisé par Justin Trudeau et ses libéraux est tellement longue que ça prend des pages et des pages dans les journaux juste pour énumérer l'ensemble des choses qu'il a mal fait. Donc, la chose à faire pour Justin Trudeau, ce que les Canadiens souhaitaient, c'était de déclencher des élections. Et malheureusement, comme je l'ai mentionné tout à l'heure, on commençait le processus aujourd'hui, au comité des comptes publics. On commençait le processus avec les partis d'opposition, qui nous aurait amené à un vote de non-confiance à la fin du mois de janvier. Mais encore une fois, comme les libéraux et Justin Trudeau ont choisi de se mettre en avant plutôt que les Canadiens, bien, les Canadiens n'auront pas cette chance-là et on va vivre l'incertitude parce qu'on ne sait pas trop ce qui se passe en ce moment du côté des libéraux. On ne sait même pas encore les détails de la course au leadership. Quand est-ce qu'on va avoir un prochain chef du Parti libéral? Quand est-ce qu'on va avoir un prochain premier ministre? Donc, c'est totalement... c'est du nombrilisme et de l'égoïsme de la part du Parti libéral de ne pas avoir hier fait la bonne décision. Plutôt que se rendre au bureau de la gouverneure générale pour proroger, le premier ministre aurait dû se rendre au bureau de la gouverneure générale pour dissoudre le Parlement et demander des élections. On se retrouve devant quelle situation aujourd'hui? On se retrouve devant une situation où les prétendants au poste vont commencer à faire campagne. Puis qui sont-ils, ces prétendants-là? Si on parle des membres du cabinet, ce sont tous des membres du caucus, des membres du cabinet qui ont voté pour chacune des politiques qui ont amené le Canada où il est actuellement.